Rev up your engines!
Okay, I predicted it, and it's already happening. Making pickup trucks out of old Corollas. Look at that. They're electric pickup trucks. I always thought, hey, if somebody figures out a way to convert Corollas into electric vehicles, they'll make a fortune, right? Well, this guy is making electric pickups in Prince Edward Island in Canada, right? And he's getting Corollas, and he's getting the basic Corolla engine, body, and everything, and he's turning it into pickup trucks. Everybody likes the idea of electric pickup trucks, a little one, so he's filling the niche, and the guy's only made like 2 of them so far. But the idea that you can convert a car that's already here into an electric car would make a lot more sense than buying an expensive electric car. Let's face it, Toyota's made over 45 million Corollas, so there's tons of them out there. Maybe the engines or transmissions finally wore out, or maybe they're burning oil, they don't shift right. Convert it into an electric car if you want an electric car. Why spend $60,000 to $100,000 for a stupid electric car when you already have a car that you could convert? Eventually, if electric cars ever do catch on, that will be a big business. Let me tell you, it'll be a gigantic business. And if it's mass produced, it would be easier. I know already in Europe, there are people who convert Hondas from gasoline to electric, and they've got it so down pat that the 2 axle shafts in the front of the car, the front wheel drive Honda, right, they will fit into this electric motor assembly that you put in, so you don't even have to change the drivetrain. You just take the old motor and transmission out, put the electric one in, and the drive shafts that are already there plug right into the electric unit. And eventually that will be something that people will do. It only makes sense, right? I mean, it's going to be a long time before people really get into this stuff, but he's kind of ahead of the curve. He's saying, I'm turning Corollas into electric pickup trucks. And check it out. It's not like a Cybertruck. It's an actual truck. It looks like a truck. You could use it like a truck, right? So eventually, probably a bunch of people will be doing this, converting Corollas into electric vehicles, if you want an electric vehicle. Here's the other thing, right? Everybody says, electric cars are green, 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 green. Hey, it costs a fortune to build the things, right? You want to be green? Recycle your old Corolla into an electric one, right? You can get the engine and transmission, send that out. Somebody wants to build it and drive a gasoline car, right? And then the rest of the car is recycled as the car you're driving with an electric motor and battery. It only makes sense. Well, they say all cars look the same these days. Well, in Vancouver, a man drove away with somebody else's Tesla because he thought it was his. Now, granted, they are relatively ugly, plain Jane looking cars, right? Well, it turns out there's a glitch in Tesla's little software. And that guy's Tesla card, they don't have a key. Oh, you couldn't have something as blasé as a key in a Tesla. Ew, no, you have a card instead, right? He went and he drove away in the guy's car. It wasn't his, but he thought it was. Now, the guy drove for a while, but eventually he noticed there were some changes, like there was a crack in the windshield his didn't have. And then after about 10 minutes of driving, he gets a message from a guy that says, Rajesh, are you driving a Tesla? He was driving the other guy's car. Now, theoretically, it's impossible to do in a Tesla because every time you open it, it rolls the code and it changes the code. So if somebody got your code being behind the bushes with a receiver and then breaks in a car, you can't because it keeps changing the code every time. Well, in this case, somehow his was the same as the one that had changed on the other guys, and it opened up and drove away. Tesla, of course, isn't giving any information on it. They never want to tell you what's going on with their cars, but when everybody starts walking around with little cards to get stuff, you know, eventually there's going to be some kind of interference. Something will go wrong. Or as computer nerds, they'll be able to hack anything. And don't think that they can't. They will, right? They make it a game to hack into stuff. Me, I like to have a physical key because then at least there it is. And it's a lot harder to get a physical key than it is to get some kind of a computer machine that will read codes and then make the car go. I know, I'm a mechanic. I could make keyless ignition systems on any car with machines I have. Theoretically, I could steal them. I don't steal cars, so I don't care. But anybody with knowledge like that, which can easily be gotten on the internet, and with a few $100 in equipment, could steal your car if you do not have an actual key. Well, what powers the world's electricity? Here's a nice little graph there, and if you look at it closely, you'll see that over 60% is natural gas and coal. Now, they didn't break it down to oil, but there's a other, like 6.4%, that's probably oil and other things, right? Nukes are 9%, but that's 4% less than last year. Everyone's afraid of the nuclear power stuff, which is ridiculous. It's probably the best way to go. But anybody that thinks you're going to get an electric car and be green, you're out of your mind. worldwide, over 60% of the energy, and that's what they say. They all lie, so I'm sure it's probably more than that, right? So electric cars, they're not green, people. You think they're green. China keeps saying, oh, we got wind power, solar power we're building. China gets most of its electricity from coal plants. They keep building new coal-fired electric plants, and then they pretend, look, we're green. We got some windmills in the Mongolian desert. Look, look, look. So let's face the facts, people. They're all lying about it. Well, here's something many of us would love to see, a Lamborghini being dumped into a giant shredder. They should dump them all in there, right? Well, it was a stunt, of course. Mr. Beast on YouTube, who has like 182 million subscribers, does crazy stuff to get money. And he kind of cheated. It didn't have a motor or transmission, and it was just the shell, right? It wasn't the whole car with the motor and everything. I would have liked to have seen that, the whole thing. But of course, the motors and trannies and those are worth a lot of money. So they just ate up the shell in one of those giant shredders that has the big sharp hammers that spin around and eat everything up. So yeah, something we all want to see. A Lamborghini crushed by a shredder. Considering if you've ever dealt with people who drive these cars, they're so obnoxious, you probably would want to get all of their cars and shred them. They think they own the road. They make horrible noises. One guy in Houston chased me with one because I wasn't going fast enough in my wife's Lexus and I wouldn't move over. I was going 5 over the speed limit. I'm happy, right? But he chased me around the streets. They're crazy people, and I think we should destroy all their cars in shredders with the engines in them. Well, there's a heat pump, right? And a new study in England debunked the idea that heat pumps can't work when it's cold. And I agree, because I'm sitting now in Tennessee. Where I am, we have a heat pump that heats our house, right? 2, one for upstairs and one for downstairs. They're very efficient, and it worked perfectly fine. It was 9 degrees below zero one day last winter here in Tennessee, and we had no problem keeping it warm. They do work. The old ones, no. But the electric heat pumps for heating and air conditioning actually are quite efficient. The only problem is that they can only do a limited amount for each one of the little things. So you have to have multiple heat pumps. Unless you have one gigantic heat pump. They are actually efficient. They do work. And I've known it. Like I said, I was 9 degrees below and it worked perfectly fine. In a limited space. You'd have to have a bunch of them for a big giant house. This is a tiny house, upstairs, downstairs cottage. So there's not that much to heat and air conditioning, but it kept it nice and cozy when it was 9 below. So I totally agree. The heat pumps do work. Well, you may never heard of Ørsted, but they're facing the big reckoning in the United States. They build those wind turbines, it's a Danish company, and they're losing a fortune on their bet on the U.S. wind farms. Now, they paid $510 million for the rights to build windmills off the East Coast, right? And the Danes said this was an exciting journey for them back in 2015. Well, it turned out to be more exciting than they expected. They're writing off a bunch of the investment in the United States, 16 billion kroners worth. They are Danish, they're in Denmark. When they said that, they've lost $11 billion in their stock value because people said, whoa, 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 what's happening? You're saying you're not making money on this. Is half of the investment that they made in American offshore wind. Half. They're writing that off because they're finding out, they don't make money. They don't make enough electricity. They're not a good investment. And as the company itself said, and I quote, you have to set up the supply chain. You're dealing with politicians or civil servants who may be unfamiliar with this. Yeah, they're unfamiliar with anything except BSing and going to parties and drinking and getting money to get reelected the next time, right? And of course, what are these people whining about? Companies like Ørsted, they want even more government subsidies. They're saying, well, the subsidies aren't enough for us to make money. Give us more money, more money, more money. You're generating electricity. It's supposed to be a business. That's what people do. They make money generating electricity. If you can't do it with the windmills, guess what? Don't build the stupid things, right? And it turns out they're not going to be building a whole bunch of them that they planned. A place in Rhode Island, they're building a bunch of them now, but that was like Evolution 1, and they had Evolution 2 planned, which was even more. Rhode Island legislature nixed the whole thing. They said, no, we're not going to do Revolution 2. Too unpredictable. It costs too much money, right? And then the people that are going to build that stuff, they had to build Revolution 1 because they had okayed it, and they owed people all this money. They would have had to pay them money if they didn't let them build what they told them to build. So, you got a contract there and they started building it. If you pull the rug out, I'm sure the company who's building those ones offshore between Block Island and Martha's Vineyard, they would have sued Rhode Island and said, you told us you were going to pay us to do this. You canceled it. Well, here. So they got to do Evolution 1, but they've already canceled Evolution 2. So it's not a viable alternative in the real world, people. Don't think these windmills are going to do anything. The tiny amount of electricity that they generate over the short lifespan that they have is not worth the expenditure. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.